Okay, so sebenarnya Python ni banyak lagi chart ni korang boleh buat. For example, bar chart, pie chart, and a lot of chart yang korang kenal boleh je guna. But for data analysis, we using histogram and box plot. This is easy for understanding the data. Okay, and also you can manipulate the data in visualized way. Okay, instead of kita cari mean, median dengan mode semua, so kita boleh project the data in histogram or the box plot. Okay. So aktiviti hari ini macam biasa, saya akan we will write the same code. Okay, and also we share the same code with you. Okay, so we have the same page lah. Okay, so harap tak ada yang tinggal. If you have any question macam biasa, you can interrupt my session or you can post the WhatsApp group. Okay, yang mana dulu? Lihat je kelas ni. Okay, so let's start our first. Okay, you can refer to the lab manual page 33. Okay. Ada yang baru buka PC Okay, data visualization refer to the method used to communicate with data or information by encoding them into visual forms such as chart, okay, graph, and also infographics. Okay, for example, infographic yang korang boleh jumpa, for example, go with now. Okay, ini adalah example infographic. Okay, banyak lagi lah. You can see here. So it's a more meaningful lah compared to you just see a number. Okay, for example, saya bagi korang population. Okay, saya bagi korang numbers. How many person have been vaccine, not vaccinated, for example, okay, and also ongoing vaccinated, okay, to complete the first or second dose. Maybe in the future we have a third dose, kan? So this is example of how we visualize the data. So for example, ada orang dia lebih mudah faham bila dia melihat. So instead of he or she like to read. Okay, ada certain orang dia suka melihat. For example, myself lah. Okay, I like to see instead of reading. Okay, saya akan tengok dulu. Okay, the content, then I can go through deep. Okay, so I can imagine from this visualized data. Okay, so from this chart, for example, or the percent or any kind of visualization have been projected. Okay, have been shown or have been shared. Okay, so we is easily to understand. Okay. Okay, let's get back to our topic. Okay, for the first chart we will go today is the histogram. Okay, so maybe some of you pernah dengar histogram, maybe tak pernah dengar. Maybe korang nampak, yang tu bar chart ke histogram? Maybe some of you have confusing the shape or the visualize of the chart. Okay, so here is the difference between the histogram and also another chart lah. Okay, so histogram is a graphical representation, okay, of the distribution of numerical data set. It's also known as a frequency plot. Okay, so dia lebih kepada frequency plot lah. Okay, the histogram summarizes data that you can use to inform a decision or explain distribution of the continuous data. Okay. For the frequency plot, we can imagine here because for the histogram we have histogram bins. Okay, maksudnya dalam histogram ni sebenarnya dia ada bins. Okay, so apa tu bins? So the data is split into interval. Okay, and also we call it as a bin lah. So each bin contain the number of the occurrences or score in the data set that are contained within that bin. Okay, so for example, here is the example of the histogram have been projected. Okay, so dekat bawah ni ialah sample of data lah yang dia ada. Okay, walaupun korang nampak ni macam, ni sama macam bar chart. Okay, the shape is same like the bar chart, but this is a histogram. Okay, the difference is dia ada bin ni, or we call as a frequency plot ni lah. Okay, so in the example given, age has been split into bins. Okay, maksudnya age ni sebenarnya dia dah pecahkan kepada range. Tapi dalam bahasa histogram ni kita panggil as a bin lah. So each bin representing a 10 years period starting at 20s. Okay, so dia akan start daripada 20 as you can see here, but each bin, okay, they give, it will show in the 10 years period. Okay, so for example, korang ada a few cups, okay, a few cups ataupun a few boxes, okay. Then you have for example, a set of sand, for example. Then you separate based on the box, okay, based on the color, okay. Each color represent one box, okay. So sama je macam ni. For example, the frequency here is from age 20 until 30. Okay, for example, here we have sample of data age 36. Okay, so 36 dia akan go to the second bin lah. Okay, as you can see here, for the second bin, we have a 4 sample of data. Okay, also we call it as a frequency or numbers lah. Okay, so kita boleh tengok lah, sini 1, 2, 3 dengan 4. Okay, we have 4 frequency or 4 sample of data that represent for the second bin between age 30 until 40. Okay, untuk, okay, yang ni histogram lah. Okay, maksudnya histogram dia ada bins, range of or period of frequency or data lah. Untuk bar chart, dia tak ada frequency ni. Okay, maksudnya is represent based on the value itself. Okay, for example 36 lah. 36 dia tak sekali group dengan 38. Okay, for example here we have two value for 36 lah. Okay, 36 2, okay, 38 ada 2. Okay, they present the number itself. Okay. Okay, let's go to the Python code. Okay. So before we start data visualization, we need to import another 2 module. Okay, another 2 module. Okay, which is the first one. Okay, for the first, don't forget to run your cell again. Okay, every time we open back our project, okay, setiap kali kita buka balik project, okay, we need to import back pandas, okay, the data set and so on. Okay, maksudnya bila kita tutup project, yes.
Saya dah run semua tapi standard deviation saya error.
Standard deviation error. Kejap tak apalah, nanti itu dulu. Kita habiskan chat, nanti awak tunjuk enter lah.
Okay.
Okay. Sebab chat dia tak berkaitan dengan variable untuk standard deviation tadi tu. Okay, no problem. Okay, so first we need to run all our codes from the beginning. Okay, you can go to the cell and click run all. Selectkanlah. If you have any errors, then maybe you can check the your text or your function. Okay, tak pun kalau still tak jumpa, tak apa, nanti the end of the session you can share view to me. Okay, then I can see if there are any errors. Okay, so let's import another 2 module. Okay, so which is matplotlib.pyplot. So import matplotlib.pyplot. And the second one is import cbond SNS. Okay, so both this module is for plotting. Okay, so saya share dekat WhatsApp group juga. Okay, just continue our codes. Okay, don't worry. So we can add the code inside them. We simply group all the module or the package in same cell, so you can see which package that you have already include in your project. Okay. So import matplotlib.pyplot SPLT. So we use alias SPLT and also cbond as SNS. Okay, let's go to the empty cell, any empty cell. Okay, don't worry. Okay, first macam biasa saya akan create markdown dulu lah. Okay, to mark my activities. Histogram. Okay, to plot the histogram, okay, just call the module, okay, plt dot his. Okay, his is a short form function for the histogram, to plot the histogram. Okay, so followed by the parenthesis. So inside the parenthesis is the variable for our data set. Okay, variable name for our data set. Followed by the column. Okay, column that you want to refer to. Okay, macam biasalah shortcut key, you can use tab key for the completion. Then you can run. Okay. Okay, after you do some changes in your cell, okay, don't forget to run again lah. Okay, saya lupa nak run. Okay, so bila korang run, baru dia import that module lah. Okay. Then baru kita run histogram. Yes. plt.his. Okay, when we show the chart, okay, the histogram chart, okay, you can see here is the array. Okay, array is the repetition of the value lah. Okay, we focusing on the second line of the array. Okay, this is the bin that have been default created by the computer. Okay, by default computer akan create 10 bin. Okay, by default if you are not setting the range of the bin, okay, computer akan decide automatically. Okay, for example here dia starting dengan 4.3. Okay, sebab maybe dalam sampel dataset kita starting dengan 4.3. Okay, so 4.3 until 4.6. Okay, dia set the range using a comma sign. Maksudnya 4.3 sampai 4.66. Okay, so dari continuous lah, dari 466 until 5.02. Okay, dia using comma sign. By default, komputer akan create 10 bins. Okay, macam mana nak tahu 10 bins tu? So, korang kira je comma ni. So, basically 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, by default, it will create you 10 bins. Okay. So, as you can see here, the bin is not very promising for it bila kau nak present lah. Okay. Rasa macam susahnya nak present. Kenapa 4.3? Nanti orang query pula kenapa 4.66? Dan sini 5.02. Yes, you can set is a addition of 0.3.36 for example. Okay. So takkan kau nak present macam tu kan? It's not a very good data that you want to present lah. And also the visualization itself. Okay, now we want to set the bin, the range of the bins. Okay, so basically kita boleh set lah. For example, starting daripada 4.0 for example until 4.5. Okay, so how to set the bins? So first you need to declare the range of the bins. Okay, for example, I set here edges. Okay, so the edges is starting from 4.0. Okay, comma sign followed by the next lah. Okay, 5.0, 6.0, okay, 7.0 and 8.0. Okay, for example, saya create dulu 4 bins. 4 bins. Okay, and boleh copy paste yang atas ni. Okay. But here you need to add some information lah. Okay, sebab kita dah give or we already define the age, okay, or the bins, size of the bins. Okay. But here we need to call it into our code, which is the bins equal to inches. Okay, then you can run. Okay, 5.0, sorry. Okay. Okay, tapi kalau macam ni still tak cantik, betul tak? As you can see here, the number is starting from 4.0. Okay, betul lah. Starting from 4.0. Okay, maksudnya 4.3 is inside 4.0. Tapi dekat 4.5 ni macam, kenapa ada something macam ni? Macam, it's not a 4 bins is not very good to represent data like this. Okay, macam tak cantik. Okay, so maybe kau orang boleh pecahkan lagi. For example, 4.0 arti 4.5, 4.5 arti 5.0. So kita pecahkan lagi. Okay, so we create the 4 bins, for example. Okay, so just add inside the comma lah. Okay, 4.5, 4.5. 6.5 and 8. Okay, so we add another 2, 4, 6, 8. So it become 8 bins. Okay, so we have 8 bins here. Okay, and still okay, it's looking more promising. Okay, for our output of our data. And kita tak tahu bin tu dia starting daripada mana and dekat mana. Okay, for example dekat interval ni sambungan ni kan kita tak tahu which line, macam tak cantik. We can add a few line of code juga. Okay, so we call as a edge color lah. Okay, edge color equal to y. You can write or okay, so kita set edge color dia. For example, edge color ni lah box dia. Okay, auto box color tu, edge color we call for example white. Ataupun kalau nak type yellow saja pun boleh. Yellow in the full name for the color codes. Okay, Y pun boleh. By default, komputer bila detect Y, edge color itself, edge color Y maksudnya dia akan detect as yellow. Okay, then you can run. As you can see, then dia ada yellow line lah for the edge color. Okay. Okay. Okay, for example, kalau kita nak hilangkan some of the information yang dia tunjuk dekat bawah ni. Okay, maksudnya this is the array. Okay, so this is the bin array. Okay, or the edge. Okay, and ni dia bagi tahu 8 path macam ni ada 8 bin lah. Okay, by default you can set more than 8 bins lah, more than 10. You can set until 20, 100 pun boleh. But if you want to write the codes, no problem lah. Okay, for example, kalau korang for example, we want to hide this information from our chart. Okay, we just want to show only the chart. Okay, so you can add another line of code. Okay, plt.show. Okay. Info. The use plt.show to hide the information before the chart tu lah. Okay. So Check out. Okay, now we have the chart in a promising way. Okay, but it's still losing something. For example, there is no title. Okay, no exist label that represent the exist. For example, okay, so we can add a few line of code. Okay, add label. To add the title and label, okay, the matplotlib function, they have the function to add, to show the title and label. Okay, so how to write the code? Just add, just like plt dot title. Okay, plt title inside the parentheses and also inside the double quote, you just write the title for your chart. Okay, histogram. For columns, okay, so you can write anything, any appropriate title for your chart. Okay, and for example, for the axis, okay, saya boleh besarkan sikit. Capability dot x label. X label is for the x axis title. This is file name. And for y axis is y label. Okay. Here is frequency. Okay, plt.show tu tarik ke bawah. So, as you remember, the computer will read the instruction from line to line. Okay, so plt.show is the last line for our codes. Okay. So just add few line of code, okay, to show the title and also the label for our chart. Okay, now we have the histogram with the label. Okay, maybe we want to add some XP line for some information. For example, we want to see where the mean, median, mode, and also the quantile, for example, or any information that we have been doing. Okay, last week, for example, kita nak tunjuk dia dalam, kita nak show dia which force, the mean, median, mode, quantile, and so on. Okay, so kita boleh add saja. For some information. It's label. Okay, for the ep9, okay, for example, kita dah jumpa mean, median, mode, okay, and also the quartile. Standard deviation tak perlu lah. Okay, standard deviation for us to get the variance. Okay, and also you can show the variance for the first and the last variance. Okay, but you need to add a few mathematical instruction lah. Maksudnya korang kena tambah the variance from the mean. Okay, then you get the answer, the point. Okay, to create the line, and also minus and plus lah. Okay, for example, we want to show the mean. Okay, inside our plot. Okay, our histogram chart. E.asv line. Parenthesis mean.
Sir, saya kena pergi dulu sir sebab saya ada appointment.
Yang K tu Okay, tak apa.
Okay, saya minta dulu
Okay, boleh. Thank you for joining. Okay, for example, kita nak show nampak our statistics depend on you lah, which one you want to show. Okay, boleh je masukkan. And we set up the color for the line. Okay, as we learn for the color. Okay, color equal to red, for example. Okay, and label. Label ni untuk for the legend lah. Okay, if you remember dalam Microsoft Excel we have a legend. Okay, maksudnya kita nak bagi tahu legend ni is refer to which information that kita nak label. Okay, and this is as a mean. Okay, so you can run. Yes, some errors as well. Module method as well. Oh,
information yang lain.
Okay, SB line Okay, maksudnya okay. Label tak keluarkan. Okay, you need to add in a few one line of information. Okay, plt dot legend. Okay, to show the legend. Display legend. So here example lah. Okay, kita dah dapat mean for our previous activities kan. So kita plot di dalam our chart. Okay, so ini this is yes.
Saya buat kod tu tapi dia buat histogram baru lah. Dia ada 2 histogram.
Tak apa, saya pun ada banyak je ni. Nampak?
Tak, maksud saya dia punya dia ada 2 histogram. Satu sekejap, nanti saya share screen sekejap.
Tak apa, saya faham. Maksudnya dekat sini awak ada 2 kan? Tak apa, tak ada masalah pun. Nanti saya akan tunjuk juga awak combine box plot dengan histogram, no problem.
Oh, okay.
So nanti awak boleh je pecahkan. So awak tahulah pecah dekat mana. Okay, so this is the mean line. So this is the legend lah. So legend akan keluar dekat atas. Okay, so for example, korang nak tambah lagi a few information dalam chart korang. Okay, boleh copy and paste saja. Okay, for example, mode for example. Mode, okay. Change color to G as a green for example. So ini saya nak, okay, median tak perlu lah. Median kita boleh keluarkan dekat quartile. Okay, quartile 1 kan. Q1. Okay, so Q1 sepaling ECM. Okay, ni mode. Ni Q1. First quartile. So you can write any text. Okay, this is the second. Boleh lah. Oh, media. Okay, so this is the kotak. So this is Q2 and this is Q3. On, you can change the color to any color, any name of the color, black, cyan, okay, any type of marine blue ke apa type of blue yang korang nak ni boleh je, just write the color code, okay, the name of the color, okay, inside the single or double quote. Okay, untuk Python korang boleh pakai single or double quote, tak ada masalah. Okay, macam Excel korang tak boleh, they still you need to use double quote. Okay, untuk Python tak apa, single or double quote, automatically dia akan jadi red text. Okay, maksudnya dalam red text ni dia bagi tahu lah, oh yang ni ialah, so ni ialah code. Okay, so you can run. Okay, so now we have more information in our chart. Okay, sini blue dengan green, mode tukarlah. Apa color lagi? Cuba bagi lagi example color, saya dah tak ada idea dah. White.
Betul.
White. Okay, ini color lah. Okay, so nanti jadi white. Alah, white kat sini pula, tak cantik. Color lain?
Purple je.
Purple, okay.
Blue.
Okay, purple. So, nanti akan jadi color purple lah. Okay. So, kita tahu, okay, sini min, sini adalah mode. Okay, mode is for here lah. And all the three quartile. Okay, kalau ada min dengan max pun boleh je kalau nak tunjuk. Okay. Okay, any question for our histogram? So, histogram setakat ni yang ni lah. Okay, you can add labels, okay, fill information inside your chart and so on. Okay, and also you can set up the pins. So, kod dia panjang sikit lah. Okay, if you don't have any questions, so let's continue with our last activities, which is a box plot. Okay, so box plot is another way, another common way to visualize data set. Okay, a box plot is a standardized way of displaying the distribution of data based on 5 numbers summary. Okay, if you remember when we talk about quartile kan, is to show to find the 5 number summary tu. Okay, for example, we have a minimum. Okay, all the 3 quartile and also the maximum. Okay, each of this is represent as 25%. Okay. Okay, if you refer to the box plots here, korang akan tertanya kenapa ada outliers. Okay, maybe some of you know what is the outliers. Okay. So outliers ni sebenarnya is still from our data set, but the data is not a good source of information that to represent the chart. For example, here is a box plot lah. Okay, for example, kalau saya nak find or I want to do data analysis, saya nak measure korang punya understanding. For example, dalam quiz 1, for example, quiz 1 is introduction for ICT kan. Okay, for example, saya ambil daripada mark from your quiz 1 and then I do a box plot. Okay, and I aware there are few outliers here before the minimum and after the maximum. Okay, what is the implementation or we can understand from the outliers? Okay, the outliers may be the data or the marks from some of you that is not reach the minimum, also exceed the maximum numbers. Okay, for example, minimum kebanyakan orang from your section, okay, dia akan dapat, for example, 14 and above. Okay, for example, ada 2 orang di bawah daripada 14 lah, for example, 10 ke or 13. Okay, so you can see here we have 2 outliers. Okay, maybe the outliers ni wujud, for example, maybe 2 of sample of the result tu, maybe dia tak sihat ke, ataupun dia join the quiz lambat, okay, dia tak sempat nak buat, for example. Okay, ataupun dia tak study, for example. He or she is not well prepared before the quiz. Okay, so dia tak exceed between the minimum lah from the range of others. Okay, and for example, we have outliers dekat maksimum ni. For example, dalam ramai-ramai korang ni kan, maths dia mungkin 19. Okay, so antara 14 sampai 19 tu kebanyakannya mark in your section is between that range. Okay, so outliers ni, for example, ada dua sini. For example, two of you totally perfect, got all correct for the quiz one. So they got the perfect numbers. Okay, maksudnya they exceed from the maximum from the average of the group. Okay, so these two data is not suitable for us to measure. Okay, so the best when we do data analysis, first we need to do the data cleaning. Okay, so the best way sebelum korang buat mean, median, mode semua tu, the best way is kita buat box plot dulu sebenarnya. Okay, so kita tahu mana data yang akan mengganggu our punya result for our findings. Okay, sebab outliers ni, if you find mean, median and mode, it will calculate with the outliers. Okay, mean, median, mode dia akan calculate lah sebab it's still in our sample data set. Okay, but the outliers is not very useful because we want to focus between the minimum and also the maximum numbers saja. So between this range. Okay, so for example kita jumpa outliers. For example here we have 2 and before the minimum we have to remove the data. Okay, for example filter ke. Okay, and data set is not a very good if you delete permanently. Okay, so basically if you want to cleaning your data, it's not very good for you to delete the data. Okay, because it is still a sample of data that have you collected, but it's the best way is to filter lah. Okay, you just focus us between here only. Okay, termasuklah korang cari mean, median, okay, and so on. Okay, mode dan sebagainya. Okay, to create the box plot, okay, kita still guna matplotlib. Okay, macam biasa saya akan create markdown dulu lah. Okay, for the box plot, okay, untuk matplotlib sama saja. Okay, plt box plot list data dot name, to the column name. Okay, then you can run. Okay, macam biasa kalau rasa nak hide all this information before the plot, just add plt.show lah. Okay. Okay. Okay, now we have the box plot. So macam biasa, dia still tak ada title, okay, and label and so on. Okay, so how to add the label? Okay, iris data, no, column name dot plot kind equal to box. vertical equal to false. Okay, by default, the vertical is true. Okay, that's why we have the output for default is the vertical is true lah. Okay, now we want to change the vertical into horizontal. Into horizontal output, and also the title is boleh copy je yang histogram tadi. Yes. Dot show. Okay. So, okay, tak apa. Boleh salin dulu, nanti saya explain. Okay, macam histogram tadi ni macam senang sikit. For example, how to give the title, okay, and so on. Tapi untuk box plot ni macam pelik sikit. Kenapa kita kena panggil variable untuk data set dulu? Lepas tu kita define the column dalam bracket. Okay. Lepas tu dalam tu, okay, kind is refer to box. Okay, maksudnya box. Okay, vertical by default dia ialah true. Okay, so you can change to true. Okay, tak ada masalah. Make sure in a capital letter. Automatically kalau hijau maksudnya baru betul lah. Okay, maksudnya this is the function have been defined in the first. Okay, memang dia dah wujud dalam function Python ni lah. Okay, if you change to true, automatically dia akan back to normal lah. Okay. So we set to false if we want to change the visualization, the data, okay, the chart itself. Okay, so title here is I can write the name lah for the title. And also I think I forget something. Okay, and also is fixed size. Size is the figure size, times 6. This time. Additional okay, fixed size maksudnya ialah figure size for our output. So you can change the number. So yang ni ialah 8 kali 3 lah. Okay, so you can set for example 6 times 3, 6 times 4 ke 6 times 8 pun boleh. So your output will be different lah. Okay, so you can change the fixed size. Okay, fixed size is a short form for figure size. Okay. Okay, sama macam rada kita tadi, dalam satu sel dia keluar dua output. Okay, so basically, for example, kita nak compare. Okay, tapi yang ni kita guna untuk compare lah. Okay, saya nak compare, for example, saya punya box plot dengan saya punya histogram. Sebab histogram pun still have the same information kan, cuma the chart is different. Okay, different way in show the output lah. Okay, so basically kita boleh tambah saja. Okay, the line of code, which one is the first lah. For example, kalau letak box plot dekat atas, then you put the code for the box plot at the above lah. Okay, followed by the histogram for example. Okay, and few information that you want, also that you want to show in your both chart. Okay. So now we can imagine, for example, okay, kalau nama ni pendek sikit, okay, ikut. Okay, so dia akan jadi rapat. For example, okay, you can see here, this is the okay, we have the median, okay, first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, and also the max. Okay, but here we don't have the mean and the max, but you can search for the value. Okay, you can assign the variable, okay, equal to the lowest number, for example, okay, and also the maximum numbers. Okay, and you can see here, okay, abaikan median mode is a mode lah. Okay, first quartile, second quartile is also a median. Okay, and also here we have the third quartile. Okay, so you can see the relation between the box plot and also histogram. Either one lah, which one you want to put above or below. Okay. You can just add the okay. Okay, any question for the histogram and also box plot?
Sir.
Okay.
Boleh tolong tengokkan saya punya tak? Yang dekat mean, median semua dia macam jadi error apa tak?
Okay, cuba share sekejap eh.
Sekejap, eh.
Okay.
Ini tu.
Mean sepaling is not defined. Okay, mana awak dapatkan mean sepaling ni dekat atas? Sebab output tu kita dapat kan sebelum kan? Cuba scroll atas lagi, mana yang awak dapatkan mean tu? Tak lagi. Last week punya activity yang kita dapatkan mean tu.
Oh.
Sebab kita panggil balik. Basically we can call the variable or the value, okay, from the same project. Okay, so kita boleh combine je mana-mana. Okay, mean. So awak punya mean just mean sepaling. Dia tak ada NP. Tak apa, yang bawah tu ada NP kan? Tapi yang atas tu tak ada ST. Tapi awak panggil tadi yang bawah kan mean sepaling. Okay, dua-dua. Okay, dekat bawah tu awak perasan tak spelling awak dua-dua L is small letter. So boleh check balik. Cuba check dulu. Small letter. Okay. Tak pun boleh check balik lah kalau maksudnya okay, ni spelling error lah biasanya sebab dia bagi tahu tadi dekat error message dia mean and p sepaling is not defined. Maksudnya your spelling is error lah walaupun kau ada define. Okay, maybe you need to check back your spelling. Okay dah. So pakai semua in small letters lah for the L.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome. Yang lain okay? Okay, satu lagi. Kita terlupa modul Seaborn tadi tu. Tadi kita ada import Seaborn, betul tak? So, okay, Seaborn sebenarnya kita boleh guna juga untuk plot histogram. Okay. Seaborn. Histogram. Okay, how to code the code for the seaborn? Okay, kita panggil tadi alias dia SNS kan. So SNS dot displot alias data. Okay. Okay, DIS plot, displot. So yang ni example kalau kita nak pakai seaborn, okay, untuk plot histogram dia ada KDE line. Yang ni kita panggil KDE line. Kalau seaborn dia ada histogram, displot dia ada histogram dengan KDE line. Okay. So dia nampak lagi menarik lah sebab dia show two information in one chart only. Okay. View.show. Macam je. For example, kalau kat atas tu tambah plt.show saja. Okay, so sama juga macam tadi. For example, kita nak letak title semua. Boleh copy and paste. Kita apa ini saya share lah. Okay, bin edges. Okay, ni korang faham lah kot. Kelas tadi sini saya letak A saja. Bin range. Dah jahat sangat nanti kau tak faham apa tu A. Okay, bin range KDE is true. List data. Frequency ticks. Okay. Okay, sini sama macam tadi. For example, saya create another 12 bins. So, span length equal to, okay, ni saya create variable dia. Okay, span length equal to iris data. So, this is column that we want to refer to. Okay, column yang kita refer untuk create histogram, also the KDE line. Okay, SNS displot. Okay. Equal to span length. So saya panggil balik variable ni lah. If you have the different name, so you make sure you change here. Okay. So bins. So this is how we set the frequency for the bins for the interval. Okay. Here we define as A. So kita panggil A lah. Okay. Histogram is true. Maksudnya kalau if you set false, nanti ada keluar KDE line sajalah. Okay. For example, you set false. So nanti dia keluar KDE line saja. Okay, so this is a KDE line basically. Okay, so basically you can change the code lah. Okay, no problem. Okay. So this is KDE line, true or false you can change. Okay, edge color for the histogram you can change also the color. Black, any color, purple ke, okay, blue, okay, green and so on. Okay, and title macam biasa lah. Okay, title you using the plt.title, x label and also y label. Okay. Ya, kita. Okay, for example, kalau kita nak tambah tadi kan min, bin dengan mod. Okay, boleh je copy yang atas ni tadi tu. Okay, so you can copy the same information because we use the same variable kan to get the output. We just add into our chart saja. So, can run. And also don't forget the label lt.legend. Okay. So this is a more upgrade lah. Okay, any question for histogram and also box plot using matplotlib and also seaborn? Okay, lahir di laut. Tadi. So, lagi cantik kot. If you put more information in your chart, which is meaningful to show information, then it is more better lah. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Okay, siapa yang ada problem boleh live ni. Okay, so nanti saya mungkin ada yang malu-malu nak tunjukkan ada error for example, tak apa. I can help you to troubleshoot the problem. Okay, untuk esok nanti saya akan beritahu lah kau pakai dataset mana for you to do some exercise. Sikit je, the same thing. You just copy and paste for exercise for your preparation for assignment to next week. Okay. And also next week, assignment 2 on Tuesday, on Wednesday, this lecture for chapter 5 lah, which is our last chapter. Okay. So any question before we end our meeting for today? So if you don't have any question, I think that's all. Thank you for joining my class for this week and see you next week. Okay, so thank you. Assalamualaikum. Class dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.